Welcome back to the Daily Cheap Shot. It's Legacy League action time. It's week 2. We had a good game on Thursday night. Big points were scored. Baby Love's feeling good. What's going to happen the rest of the week, though? Who you got today? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to go through our matchups. We're going to make some predictions and see what happens. So get ready. It's week 2. Get your matchups ready. Get your players substituted in. If you haven't done it yet, you better hurry. Time's running out. Games start at 1. Get your red zone tuned up. We got 7 hours of action coming to you today, plus Sunday night game, plus a couple of Monday night games. Get ready. Let's have a good time. Now, on to the matchups. That's what you came here for. You didn't come here to listen to me talk about red zone or anything else. So let's get on to the matchups. The first one of the day, it's Build Back Better versus the Daily Cheap Shot. Now, I think Build Back Better has some really good matchups. Lamar Jackson cannot be worse. He has to be better. He gets his security blanket back with Mark Andrews. I expect him to play better. DK got a good matchup against Detroit. I think he's going to find some running room. Didn't seem to play great last week. I think Gino will bounce back and they'll be a little bit better this week. The Giants defense, look, you were embarrassed last week. You're supposed to be a good unit. Well, show it this week. Arizona doesn't want to win. They're tanking. You should dominate that offense. And I think those are 3 pieces that are really going to carry Build Back Better. Will they lead to a win? We'll find out in just a minute. As for Daily Cheap Shot, Josh Allen, 3 picks. Stephon Diggs was pissed at the end of last season. You keep throwing 3 picks, he's going to get pissed now. Get it together. Are you the guy that they drafted that struggled in his first couple of years? Or are you the near MVP from a couple of years ago? You need to make a decision because right now you got paid and you look like a guy that's fat and happy. Get it together. Dallas defense. You feasted on a bad Giants offense last week. Now Zach Wilson is coming to town. I promise you he's not going to throw it much. You better slow down Breece Hall. You better slow down Dalvin Cook. If you do, you will probably dominate the day. Dallas D, I'm expecting big things from you today. In the grand scheme, I think Build Back Better has a little bit better matchups. I think they're going to pull out a small win, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring matchup between Daily Cheap Shot and Build Back Better. Build Back Better pulls out the small win. Next up, we have the old 69er and Steel Revenge. Steel Revenge, a little worried about Austin Eckler. He's out, but not that worried. Saw you picked up Joshua Kelly. I expect Joshua Kelly to play extremely well. My concern for you, though, is Kenny Pickett. Is he going to be that guy? You want him to be the quarterback one, but is he? We'll see. You need him to play well. Look for Jalen Waddle. I think he's going to play well. He'll have a big day. But, yeah, Kenny Pickett's really going to be the barometer that sets for you. Can he play well, or is he going to continue to struggle? You need a QB1. If not, you got to look for the backup and play him. 69er, you have great matchups. Justin Herbert, expect a big day. T. Higgins struggled week 1. Look for him to bounce back. Joe Burrow is not going to struggle 2 weeks in a row. James Cook, again, I think he's going to have a really big day. I think the Buffalo offense as a whole is going to play really well. 69er, I think you're going to pull out a win. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Steel Revenge's team will get better. I think the quarterback position has to be figured out there. Pickett if he's not going to be the guy, then it's going to bog this team down all year. But 69er, I think, picks up the win behind a huge performance by Justin Herbert. Next up, Atlanta, Kibbles and Vicks versus Mr. M. I want to tell you, I didn't realize how stout of a group that Kibbles and Vicks has. There's a lot of really good players on that offense. You look at Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, they were huge in week 1. Saquon Barkley, if he gets his act together, he's a stud. Devontae Adams, he's going to be great with Jimmy G. Well, or whoever plays quarterback when Jimmy G gets hurt. Just a stout lineup over there. George Kittle, I didn't mention him at tight end. Really, really loaded lineup there. Kittle, I think he'll be tied down a little bit today by the Rams, but the other guys should have big days. But yeah, that's a really loaded roster. In Mr. M, you need Tony Pollard to be the guy. If he can show up and get a couple of touchdowns, that'll really help your cause. I think he'll be active in the passing game today more than the run game. The Jets aren't going to let you run all over them with today. They're going to take that away, make Dak beat you in the passing game. So I'd look for a lot of screens, get Pollard out on the edges. Maybe that helps to get him some good receiving yards. I would definitely look at that. Any prop bets, I would look at Pollard in the air. I think he's going to get more receiving than rushing today. Tyreek, concerned about him with him and Waddle. against New England. New England always wants to take away your best option. So their option they're going to probably try to take away is going to be Tyreek. Can they get it done? I don't think so. I think he's too explosive. But that's going to be their number one objective is take away Tyreek Hill. That's why I think Waddle has the bigger day. But I think Tyreek still gets his. But maybe just not what he did in week one. Bills coach, I think they're going to bounce back and have a big day. They should win large. That team's got to have some pride. They were terrible week one. That's an embarrassing loss, an embarrassing offense. I expect them to bounce back and win big week two. Welcome to the video, Bella. But yeah, I look for Kibbles and Vicks to win the matchup. I don't know if it'll be close. I think they'll win by 15, 20 points. The lineup just seems really stout right now. And again, we got to see how things play out as the year goes on and see, how injuries may impact them as they go. But right now, I think that team looks really good. Next up, we have Jahan Solo and the Wookiees versus Cuz Lightyear. Now, Jahan, Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, the Washington D. Good matchups for all. Chris Olave, I love. Jamar Chase, he's got to bounce back from a terrible week one. Devonta Smith had a nice week on with Philly this week. So, I just look at that team. I think there's a lot of good weapons in the skill position players. Just got to show up. Washington defense, I think, is going to play really well today. I think it's a solid group all the way around, and I think that's really going to lead their team. They got to take some pressure off Sam Howell. Get some turnovers, give him some short fields. Don't make him drive the length of the field. Just a little too inconsistent, still a little bit too young to rely on that all year long. Defense needs to step up and make some defensive plays. Cuz Lightyear, I think there's some misses. I think there's some gaps on this roster. Kenneth Walker, I really do like, but is he going to be a feature back there? I don't know. I think it's up in the air. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. Right now, the only thing he's scaring is me because I don't think he's really doing anything. So Washington needs him to step up. Does Sam Howell have that connection with him? Hopefully, for their sake, I hope he does. I like Sam Howell, but like I said, needs a little bit of pressure taken off of him by their defense. Huge thing for Cuz Lightyear, though, is definitely Travis Kelce coming back. Well, I think it's twofold. One is KC lost last week, and you could really tell Mahomes missed that security blanket of Travis Kelce. Huge to have him back this week. I think he plays really well. Probably 10 catches, 120 yards, something like that. He's going to probably have a touchdown or two. And it'll be very important to get him back in the fold very, very quickly. I look for him to be a big, big week for Cuz Lightyear. Due to that, I think Cuz Lightyear actually ekes out a small win here. I think Kelce has a chance to get a couple of touchdowns and maybe have a 30 to 40-point game. He's going to be a feature guy. Mahomes trusts him. The receivers, I think, are a little bit iffy. And I think it's going to come down to, can he get Kelce the ball enough for them to win the game? It's going to be a high-scoring game with Jacksonville. So, yeah, I look for Kelce to have a monster day and lead the Cuz Lightyear team to a victory. Next up, Baby Love at full tilt mode. Baby Love, very great start. Very good start to the week. Jalen Hurts played well. Swift played well. Hawkinson played well. Still has CeeDee Lamb and Tutu Atwell, who I both think are having very, very nice weeks. Mainly because I think the Jets are going to make the Cowboys pass the ball. And I think CeeDee Lamb will be very, very, very popular for Dak. Look for 5 or 6 catches, probably 80 to 100 yards. Good day there. And Tutu Atwell, while there's no Cooper Kupp, Pachua was good, but I think that Atwell is just the kind of guy that Stafford wants. He can really get deep. He's really, really fast and twitchy. I think he's the kind of guy that can really be important in the passing game for them. And again, are they really going to run the ball against the 49ers? I don't think so. I think it's going to be all on Stafford's arm and Tutu Atwell. Expect him to have a very nice day. Had over 100 yards last week. I would expect him to do that again. And he could be the cog that maybe they didn't know they had before the year started that really explodes without Cooper Kupp there. But I would look for big days from those guys. I think Baby Love's got a nice roster. I think this is the start of the year is going to go really well for her. As for full tilt mode, they're going to need a big dose of Nick Chubb. Deshaun Watson just doesn't look right. I think you rely on the running game and let him play action off of that. I think it's going to be a big benefit for him. But yeah, I think we need a big dose of Nick Chubb. Mark Andrews, big loss not having him last week. Cost him a tight end to play. Lamar needs him. He gets him back. I think that's going to help Lamar. It's going to help Mark Andrews. Kind of like the whole Mahomes, Kelce situation. I think it's a lead to big days for both. Mark Andrews just always seems open. So does Kelce. They always both seem open. I would look for him to be very involved in the passing game early and often. And that has to be really important. I think that's going to help full tilt mode quite a bit. But in all, I think it's too much offense for Baby Love this week. I think like I said, I think Lamb and Atwell have big days, and it just carries the roster. I think it's going to be an easy win for Baby Love over full tilt mode. She'll probably score 140 points this week. Big week. Rounding us out, we have Divorce Court and Complete Garbage. Complete Garbage was accurate last week. We'll see if he's Complete Garbage this week. As for Divorce Court, Patrick Mahomes gets Kelsey back. That's huge. You need that. That's gonna help that offense explode. They always play well against Jacksonville. It's gonna be a high scoring game. I don't think they're gonna run the ball very well. I would look for Mahomes to air it out early and often. They've got to get those wide receivers up to snuff. Rashee Rice, I think, is going to be the guy this week. And Kadarius Toney, after the struggles last week, I think they'll probably try to get him going early as well. But for this matchup, Divorce Court, you got ATN, you got Michael Pittman, Darren Waller, a lot of good players there. I think that Divorce Court's going to have a really nice week. A lot of guys that need to bounce back. ETN's in a game, it'll be a high scoring game. Pittman had a touchdown, but he wasn't really involved that much. Anthony Richardson, still very, very raw quarterback prospect. And Darren Waller, we know how embarrassed that was. So hopefully they bounce back against Arizona. As for Complete Garbage, Bijan ran the ball some. I was surprised how much Algier got the ball. They really kept using him as a two-headed monster. I expect Bijan, though, as the year goes on, to get more and more carries. Hopefully that starts today. Garrett Wilson, got to be more involved. You got to get more than 50 yards receiving. That's not going to cut it, especially because Dallas is going to score. So the Jets are going to have to score 25 to 30 points to win the game. Can they do that? No. But at least Garrett Wilson is to be the key to get them there. I think he needs to have his hands on the ball 10 or 12 times for them to have any chance. Even if it's just a little wide receiver screens, let him make moves, let him make plays. He can make people miss and go a lot of yards after catch. So get the ball in his hands any way you can, in the rounds, whatever it takes. He has to touch the ball more than 4 or 5 times. Not good enough. Last week was not good enough. And Mike Evans, it's interesting. As I mentioned earlier, I may have mentioned in a different video. I think that Baker is going to use Mike Evans a little bit like Johnny Manziel did at Texas A&M. I think you're going to see him get loose, and he may throw some ducks, but he's going to throw jump balls up and say, "Mike, go get the ball." And I think Mike Evans is good with that. I think he wants those opportunities. So I think you're going to see today that they're going to look to get Godwin involved over the middle, and then they'll look to hit Mike Evans over the top. So I think they're going to play well. I think Tampa Bay's going to win a game, and I think that Mike Evans is going to get big plays down the field, and that's going to be a key to that success. As for the win in this matchup, give me Divorce Court. I think Mahomes is going to have a monster day. He may go for 400 yards passing. He's going to want to make a statement that last week was just an aberration and that they are for real. So, that's my slate of games for the Legacy League this week. If you don't like it, that's not really my problem. I'm the commissioner. I get to make these videos and make my own decisions. Leave a comment down below if you have a problem with it. And if you want to say something different, you think that the outcomes will be different, you just let me know. And hey, we'll find out in about 48 hours. So, hey, good luck, everybody. Get your lineups ready. We'll see how you do. Check out my other video. Got some NFL picks. And see if your picks match up with mine. And, hey, have a good time. Enjoy your Sunday. And let's have some good football. Take it easy. That's your Daily Cheap Shot with the Legacy League Fantasy Football.